I want to introduce or reintroduce, because I did it last month, a little set of micro skills. So that to be effective in meditation, you need over time to develop skills in how you work with yourself and with your meditation. But very often there's little sets of skills that actually go together. And if you do the whole set, then it just works much more effectively. So before I guide you into the meditation, I just want to, in a way, just go into, in a little bit of detail, this micro set. So there's an important kind of intentionality in meditation where you have the intention of what I call the 3 C's. And the 3 C's is you're doing the meditation, but periodically you check, has your mind wandered? Or is there something going on in the background? And the second C is you clear it. And that's what we're going to be mostly paying attention to. The clearing, and the third C is coming back, in this case, to the body and the breath. So 3 C's: check, clear, come back. But the clearing is a set of skills. So, and it's relatively sophisticated, actually, relatively. So you have the thoughts, but you have the feeling tone of the thoughts. So let's say, just for example, because a lot of people have it, you notice that in the background you have anxiety, anxious thoughts. Oh no, will this happen? Who will do that? Will I do that? Have I missed something? And part of the skill is to recognize that the thought has the feeling tone of anxiety. And so that's one skill, to recognize it. Oh, this is anxiety, this is worry. And to be clear, that is what it is. It's not anger, it's not desire or anything like that, or can't be bothered. It's anxiety. So the recognition is a skill. Then there's this particular skill, which is that you, as it were, in a manner of speaking, separate the thought from the feeling. So you clear the thought with the easiest way of 3 things, briefly. Not now. Later. If it's something that you go, oh, I've got to do that, later. Not now, later. And then the third one, which I came up with myself some years back, which I'm very proud of, is it's just like a smartphone. You swipe irrelevant thoughts to the bin, and things that need to be paid attention to later, you go to do later. And you swipe, visually, you swipe the thought right out of the picture. So you don't go half in, half out. You swipe it right out like you would on a phone. Boing, boing. And it's well worth a try if you haven't ever done it. When I first introduced it, people just really took to it. So I keep going with it because people love it, actually. So, not now, later, and swiping. Later or the bin. That leaves you with the anxiety, as it were. And that part of this the way of approaching this is you absorb the anxiety and the feeling and the energy of the anxiety into your body and the breath. You absorb it. Now, there's a skill there. It takes a skill to kind of bring it in, but actually, once you get used to do it and you have a repetition of this and you do it over time, it actually is just a skill. You can do it. So you're then coming back into the body and the breath, and you're absorbing the energy into the body and the breath and the mind's stability, you could say. Now, I'm not going to say any more than that. That's the skill set. So, if you'd like to set yourselves up for a meditation, and I'll guide you in and guide you through. So the guiding is going to be just a couple of minutes. Very important though. First question you ask yourself, what's here? Which is, how am I? What's happening? How do I feel? So ask yourself that. So it's the same as arriving. Arriving into what's here, how your body is, your general mood. Just taking time for that now. Settling. What's here? And there are things, sounds going on in the background, but you're just coming in closer and closer to the experience of your body and how you are. Arriving. And the second question is, what's needed? So if you're dozy, you need to wake up. If you're restless, you need to settle, for example. Very clear. What's needed? And then on the basis of what's needed, if anything, you decide, you develop the intention to stay awake, to settle the mind, or do the 3 C's regularly all through the meditation. Clear intention. Just bringing it to mind as quietly as you can in your mind. So what you're going to be doing is based on how you are, what's needed. And now, clear directive to yourself, bringing your awareness to your body and the breath together. Clear direction, the body and the breath, and the whole flow and rhythm of the breath. Engaging. Feeling the movement in your body of the breath as it comes in and goes out, and settling into it. And how it feels. Is it smooth or rough? The body and the breath. And within this whole sense of the flow and rhythm of the breath, now focus down into the belly and the breath. New direction. The belly and the breath, feeling it. Steering your attention into the belly and the breath. If you veer away, steer back. Simple commands. Steer back to the belly and the breath, the movement and feeling. So you have the obvious feelings and movement, but what else is here? Being more sensitive to the subtlety of experience in the belly and the breath. Now a quick 3Cs, checking any background thought or feeling tone, clearing the thought and letting any energy of those thoughts be absorbed into the body and the breath. Giving yourself subtle directives. Stay with this. So just for a moment, a little skill here is that you deepen your awareness. What's underneath? What qualities are here? And you just open to what qualities are here in your mind, as it were, deeper. And keeping those underlying qualities, if they're there, in mind, you then refocus back to the body and the breath in the belly. Becoming absorbed, steering into the experience, being patient but attentive. And now just 3Cs again, briefly, checking up to thoughts and feeling tone, clearing thought if they're there, and absorbing the feeling tone down into the body and the breath. You veer, steer back with gentle determination and attentiveness. Now, new direction, the breath and the heart chest area. Feeling the movement, the opening as the breath comes in. Staying with it. Following the experience and the rhythm. Attentiveness and patience. Three C's, just checking up any background thoughts, clearing thought, and absorbing any feeling tone down into the heart chest area and the breath. Now, for a moment, just broadening your attention to the underlying qualities in the heart chest area. Any qualities that are there, as it were, in the background. And then coming back to the sensations and movement of the breath. Re-engaging clearly. Letting your mind settle into the breath and the heart-chest area. Now just broadening, as it were, into the underlying qualities of what's here. If you're settled or calm, absorbing it and then coming back now to the breath, but the whole flow and rhythm of the breath in the whole body. How it moves your body. A new direction, bringing attention up into the breath and the nostrils. So it's like a zoom focus in, allowing the quality to fill you. But you go to the nostrils as well. you steer back. Quick 3Cs checking, and then coming back. And resting. Resting in an awareness of how you are, just taking it in. And while still being aware of your body, the heart, chest area particularly, just asking yourself for a descriptive word for how you are now. And just let it come if it comes. Or be open to an image for how you are now. Just let it come. What's an image for how I am now? Just taking it in, letting the image fade away now. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and sitting comfortably when you're ready.